Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast for the 4th of July. And happy 4th of July to our new owners and to all our American folk that follow us, and Justin, of course, who lives there. Justin, very much. I'm sure it's cracking over there as it stands. And yes, we are, as I say, live on YouTube and Twitter tonight. So get yourself subscribed, get yourself involved in a live chat. And tonight I am a rock and roll star, and if you know, you know. And I didn't get tickets, and I'm gutted about it. I'm Scott Carney. Joining me tonight, first of all, was Ali Pearson. Ali, how are you? Did you enjoy your 40th weekend? Were you genuinely surprised when we were all there waiting for you?
Yeah. No, it was. It seems a while ago now. That it's last week, but no, I honestly, I was saying to everyone, I genuinely didn't expect it when I obviously went for a meal with my girlfriend. It was going to be the two of us. Walked down the stairs, and the majority of my family were there, which I did not expect. The first person I actually seen was Dixie.
Of all people. Yeah.
And I was like, "What's he doing here? Is he with Hannah for a dinner and that?" And then I seen everyone else. And then later on, obviously, we went to committee rooms, and then we come in, and all you guys were up in the bit that we had for my birthday. I didn't expect that either. So no, it was good. It was good to see everyone together, because I mean, when do we get everyone like that together?
We don't.
Extremely hard. So no, my girlfriend did extremely well organising that. It's big pressure on me for her next big birthday, which is a good long time away, to be fair. So it gives me time. But no, I enjoyed it. But yes, it's a distant memory now.
Yes, it's a distant memory now, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you were genuinely surprised, mate. And yeah, hats off to your better half, mate, because I was like that. I didn't even know that the first part of your night was an actual surprise meal. I presumed everybody went, so I could have slipped up to you about that.
Yeah.
But then Dardo said something, and I was like, and it was while you were up at the house for the wee man's birthday. He turned around and he went, "Oh, I've got to tell Ali I'm working tonight." And I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Why have you got to tell Ali you're working tonight?" I was like, "I don't really get that." He's like, "Oh, but the meal." And I was like, "Shit, is the meal a surprise too?" And I was like, "Right, I need to watch what I'm saying." So no, I'm glad, mate. I'm glad you had no idea. It was cracking. It was good to get everybody together. It really was. And just we'll leave the fact that you were wearing stone trousers to another time. We'll talk about that another time, but I address your attire. Also joining us is Ross McLean. Ross, how are you?
Good evening, gents. All good, thank you. There's plenty of off the pitch potential there. That sounds like there's some definitely some vlog potential there.
The missus did say that, actually. I'm not going to lie. She did say, "Why are you not doing something like this for off the pitch?" I said, one, I plan to have quite a few tonight, and two, I forgot. I was like, I've completely forgot. Like, she was like, "All right."
No, that's wise move. But no, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Very, very exciting week and plenty to discuss. So yes, let's get straight into it.
Yeah, exactly. Gordon, thank you very much for the super sticker, mate. Cracking start to the show. Really do. I appreciate that very much. And Justin's asked Ross, "Where is your Uncle Sam hat?" Where is your Uncle Sam hat, Ross? You're usually quite organised.
No, he's not. I need next week, Justin. You've called me out. It's in the loft. Right, next week I'll be here.
Yeah, you caught him out there. So yes, we are. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. There's signings as this podcast is named tonight, because there has been some movement and long-awaited movement. I think we're all a bit happy to see things actually fully ticking over now. And before we go on, I made a reference to Oasis obviously at the start of this. Ali won't know anything about it. I won't know an Oasis song apart from Wonderwall. I'd be surprised if he knows any more than that. Ross, I'm scared to ask because you've aged. Have Oasis had any influence on your life at all?
I won't lie, mate. No, not really. I did. I know. I did try and get tickets for some family, but no, it's not for me, unfortunately. A bit of Tina Turner will do me, and that's about it. Simply the best is all we listen to around here.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was like, Ali. I know Ali's tasting music, and I was like, there's no way Ross has had any sort of dealings with Oasis, but if you were raised at the same age I was kind of raised, you're from my era, then Oasis were more than likely a pretty massive part of your life. Everybody that I ever spoke to was always keen on them. Anyway, not here to talk about how gutted I am that I'm not going to see them. We're here to talk about Rangers, and it's a go for Joe. Joe Rothwell signs on a 3-year deal from Bournemouth for an undisclosed fee. The midfielder 30 becomes the latest addition to Russell Martin's side as the Gers head coach continues to reshape his squad ahead of the upcoming campaign. And he said on that, he said, I'm delighted to have the deal done and be here. It's brilliant. The size of the club speaks for itself, and as soon as the interest was there, it was an immediate yes from me. With Russell coming in too, they made that decision a little bit easier, because working with him in the past, and I know what type of guy he is and how he wants to do things, that was an even bigger pull for me. But the club speaks for itself. Russell Martin spoke about the signing and said, he's a player who we thoroughly enjoyed working with during my time at Southampton. His leadership, professionalism and quality were a huge asset. He's joining on the back of 2 promotions, so helps bring a real winning mentality to the group. We're excited for Joe to join up with the squad, get to know his teammates and make the group stronger. Ali, it is you have to admire, well, your thoughts on the signing as well. The player, you have to admire Rangers, the way that they're doing business, the fact that this was rumoured 24 hours pretty much before that deal was done, and then say literally 24 hours later he was getting his press pictures done, and it was announced that he was signing for Rangers on a 3-year deal. I admire that about the way that we are doing business. There is a lot of bedwetting happening in terms of people making up rumours about who we're signing. Big Dodge, thank you so much for the £5 as well. Did I miss somebody becoming a member as well? Did I miss that?
Yeah, Chris.
Becoming a member. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. But yeah, the way that we're doing business, mate, is it's very welcomed. It is very welcomed, and it's almost settling for me that I'm like, with even Joe Rothwell saying himself that it took a bit longer than expected, and Rangers have been at this for a while. So I think we all, and well, probably me, I need to calm down a little bit and go that things seem to be in hand. But what's your thoughts on the signing?
I tell you, not to get too upset about it. I was quite calm about the whole situation.
Say that to anybody about anything, like you really do.
So yeah, this it seemed to it's been like a domino effect this week in terms of what's happening and what's going to happen by the looks of it, which we'll get into. But Joe Rothwell, that was. But we've heard for Leeds fans that this is what they do. They keep things kind of in-house, and then they'll release a couple of signings, etc., in terms of what's happened to Leeds. And thanks very much, John Lammy, for the kind donation as well. Much appreciated. But no, Rothwell...
Thanks, John. Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, he spoke today, Rothwell, about he had a chance to come to Rangers 3 years ago, and he chose bloody Bournemouth of all teams. Why are you choosing Bournemouth over Rangers? Obviously because they played in the Premier League, and he did mention that he started his career at Man United, and I think he was there for 15 years or something, obviously, as a boy, obviously, and his ambition was to get back to the Premier League at some point, and Bournemouth gave him the chance, and that's why he went there, and fair play for that. But yeah, he's a signing that obviously he knows Russell Martin. I think he played 4 years at Blackburn before he went to Bournemouth. Played pretty much most of the games, majority of the games with Leeds last season, and a good Leeds team. I think he ticks the boxes in terms of we need a bit of leadership on the park. I think we lacked that last season. He's 30 years of age. He's been round the block a bit. I know a lot of fans are saying, why are we going down to England? Because it's failed before. But the players we've picked previously before haven't been great in terms of certain players. There's a few ones that we have done well with, but you need to look at it and go, Russell Martin is managed in England. Of course, we're going to go into that market. It's a market he knows. So Rothwell ticks the boxes for me. Interesting to see where he plays. Obviously, he'll play in there with Raskin. There's other players linked too. But yeah, I think he'll be a good signing. The Leeds fans have raved about him in terms of what they thought about him last season. They thought he was a very good player for them. He can score goals, can score free kicks. There's a lot of good attributes to his play. So I look forward to see him, and I was happy to see him come in because he'll be a leader in the pack for us. We lacked it big style last season. And there's obviously other guys that may come in that type of role, but because we are a young team, Rangers, and we need these guys round about the team. But yeah, I thought he was a decent signing for Rangers to kind of kickstart what's going to be a lot of signings.
Yeah, Steve O'Gers, thank you very much for the $5, mate. Generally, really, I do appreciate that. An amazing start to tonight's live stream, so I do very much appreciate it. Ross, yeah, he's been quoted. Clean Tube as well. Thank you so much. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. That's absolutely amazing for a $9.99. Really do appreciate that. Honestly, that's magic. Is it pay weekend? I think we're a week past. Is everybody been paid early? What's going on? What's going on?
4th of July, that's why everyone's excited.
That's the 4th of July, that's it. Everybody's very excited. But Ross, obviously, he's quoted about his leadership, about his experience, about his kind of winning mentality. He speaks about that himself. What I like about the two signings that we have made in terms of Rothwell and Aarons, they're coming here to play. We're not signing players that are going to sit on the sidelines, which makes it even more intriguing in terms of what is Russell Martin planning on doing, who's going to still be here at the end of the window, because he's obviously got real plans. There's obviously a real plan here, and that's the bit that I think I quite like about it. I'm a wee bit dubious about going right into England. I'm not going to lie. Like, constantly going to England, I'm like, there must be players elsewhere in the world that we could be going for, but because everything's been quoted as an undisclosed fee as well. However, as I say, we are signing players to start and to strengthen the squad. Both of these players, arguably, before we come on to any further signings, obviously, but they two, Rothwell and Aarons, they're strengthening the team and they're here to play.
They are here to play, and it's a good age as well. 30 with a 3-year contract. This is a very exciting signing for me. I think there's one maybe slight thing we've missed, and it's that sort of presence, like Stephen Davis in the midfield, just somebody who links the play between defence and attack. Don't get me wrong, Raskin does it well. I think Raskin's probably a bit special. He's a bit of a hybrid, but people might slam me down for this as well. John Lundstrom did it as well, as in the actual passing the ball from defence to midfield forward. I'm not saying that Rothwell's going to be the next John Lundstrom. Just don't quote me on that one, lads. But like, I think somebody who's just that similar kind of player who can carry the ball, bit of composure. That's what you're looking for. He's also listening to his interview. Spent a lot of his youth at Man U in their prime days. He's been about some players. So it's very, very exciting for me. I think when you look at when you go down the dark alley like I do and look at his stats and see that he's not scored 30 goals a season, you're like, oh, come on. But it's more than that. You know, he's one of these players, maybe like a Stephen Davis, who, you know, maybe won't have the most incredible stats in the world, but you'll look at him and go, bit of a Rolls Royce, him. And that's what the Leeds fans have kind of been saying about him. So very, very exciting for me, mate. It just, where does he fit in? Where does our midfield look like now? I do think a lot of it depends on if Raskin stays. If he does stay, do you see maybe similar to almost what we did with Barron and Raskin, can have two number 6s in the midfield? Obviously with Diomande there, there's obviously another Norwegian who's potentially coming into the club. I'm sure we'll get into him soon. But it does leave us very, very, very strong in the midfield, actually, in terms of our kind of strength and depth. This early into a rebuild, it's quite surprising how strong we are in the midfield. And even when you include the likes of a Conor Barron, a Lyle Cameron coming in. So it's very, very welcome for me. I hope to see him play on Sunday. And yeah, it's good to have some other players that you've heard of as well. Like, you know, it's all well nice having these players who come in. I've not heard him before, so he's like, he's a name who's been about the place, as Ali says, down at Leeds last season. So very, very exciting for me, mate. Please do not think that I'm comparing him to John Lundstrom. You know what I mean. In terms of what he plays. But yeah, very exciting, very exciting.
I think it to me it does scream the fact that we will not be playing the same formation as we have seen previously. I think there is going to be a change. I think if Raskin stays, we've all said that Raskin and Diomande were starters for us. I don't see Diomande being dropped, if that makes sense. I don't think he would be kind of pushed out of the picture. So you would look at Barron and Cameron as probably being the backup to they three, potentially, in terms of the kind of midfield. I'd say it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen. I think we're all in agreement. Well, are we all in agreement? This is kind of a sidetrack thing. I thought about this the other day and I forgot to note it down, but it's just come back to me. With Raskin's situation, Ali, if Nico Raskin doesn't sign a new deal, right, we've all said that, right, okay, you have to sell him this window. To make any sort of money on him, you're going to have to sell him this window. However, if he stays, and I know it's hypothetical, but if he stays and we have a very successful season and he does go for less than he's worth the next window, what's better for Rangers? Winning the league or selling Raskin? And I'm not saying Raskin's a difference, but you get where I'm coming from. Like, is it a cut your nose off to spite your face kind of thing? Which will come to, there is potential signings of potential players leaving that could be leaving with a wealthy bit of profit made in it. Does that soften the blow on Raskin if he chooses not to sign a contract in order to keep him for another year? And again, I think we would all want him in the midfield for another year. So is it worth Rangers to keep him for another year in the hope that it brings success in terms of him being part of a fundamental part of our midfield? You get where I'm coming from? Discuss, mate.
Yeah, Justin, unfortunate, poor soul. Been a member for 33 months, Justin.
That's like a prisoner.
John's not far. John's not far
behind him.
32 months. God, feel sorry for the lads.
That is there's prison sentences that have been better than listening to us for 33 months and 32 months.
Yeah. No, asking it's a difficult one. They've done it before with players, Rangers, where they've kept players too long in terms of if they keep that player, will he help us potentially win the league, etc. Ultimately, I want Rangers to win the league. If Raskin doesn't sign a contract and stays this season, we win the league and he goes for half the price next year, I won't care as a fan, because ultimately I want to win the league. That's what I want. But the board think of it as a business. They run it as a business. So ultimately, it's a double-edged sword, because you win the league and it opens the door into Champions League. So you can look at it that way and go, if he helps us win the league, it helps us get into Champions League, which gives us money in terms of if we don't win the league, and he goes this. So it's a double-edged sword. Players will need to move on at certain points in their career. Raskin is as we've talked about umpteen times in this podcast, he's at the peak of his, if you want to say at the moment, in terms of price we can get for him, because he's 2 years left in his deal. Playing for Belgium as well, playing very well for us, so we could potentially get money for him. As we sit here at the moment, well, we don't know the ins and outs, but there's nobody been in for Raskin as we speak. So not that we know of. So I would love to keep Raskin this season. I would love to have him. I'd love him just to sign a deal. Just if he even said to him, sign the deal, and if somebody comes in, we'll let you go, just to protect Rangers. But he needs to protect himself. So it's a difficult one. If somebody comes in with a decent offer, similar to what the Bigger Man type thing is at the moment, I think he'll go. And we'll bring somebody else in, because we've been linked with quite a few midfielders at the moment. So it's a difficult one. It is. If the right price comes in, he'll go. But I don't know what the 49ers think, because they've said when they came in, we don't have to sell players. But at the same time, they want the player trading model. And he's an asset for Rangers. So the ideal situation for them and for us is he signs a contract and he's there next season, and maybe we punt him next season after we win the league. That's the ideal. Yeah,
after we win the league. Yeah, I know that would be the perfect case scenario, but he might be going, well, no, like, I don't really want to sign another deal. Why would they say no to that? I don't know, even a year's extension.
And he wants to go to a bigger league. When he first came into Rangers, one of the first things he said was he wanted, I think he was to go down to England. He wants to go down there.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he signs another deal where it is protecting the club, yes, but I'm still at the point going, well, even if they can't agree that, I'd probably keep him another year with the hope that these signings that we're making there's going to be a revolution. It's going to be a revelation in terms of how we play football. We will be competitive for the season. Ross, you get where I'm coming from. It's a stick or twist thing yet again, but I'm more at the point where I'm going, I think we should probably stick, especially the way the signings have gone. I'm like, I think we should probably stick and keep Raskin. I think he would be a vital part. I think him and Rothwell would probably work quite well together. In fact, that Rothwell could be the more attacking of them, because that's his game. That's his kind of natural game. He is a number 8, if you like, an attacking number 8. So I'm at the point where I'm going, I think Rangers should stick.
It's potentially a difference between 2 million and 20 million. I think we've been stung in the past with the likes of Ryan Kent, Morelos. I think if there was a chance to potentially prevent that pain again, I'd be taking it, lads. I'm not gonna lie. If a bid did come in just now, I know that I would love nothing more than to have Raskin here for the next season. But I just feel that if we look at it in a year's time, we are potentially going, "Oh, I wish we just pulled the trigger." Because another thing as well, as much as I very much doubt this is going to happen, because he's at the peak of his powers, it seems. If Raskin has a bad season and his value goes right down, there's another complete kind of problem there. Paul, thank you very much for the donation. That is first class. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
It's, there's so many. I mean, if he gets injured, it's obviously it's all hypothetical. I do think that that we maybe need to give ourselves a bit of security. We've got an asset there. Let's not make any mistakes around it. I do think he'll be in high demand this summer. He will be in high demand, and it's probably the one player you would take a risk on because he is that good. But I just think with my mature head on, I would probably give him a contract. But the other side of me says just let him play because he is capable of some wonderful football. Good question though, mate. Very, very good question.
It's a difficult one. I'm at the point when I'm going, we're all by billionaires. I don't care anymore. Just keep him part of the midfield, because I would be gutted to see him go. I really would be gutted to see Raskin go. But again, I suppose you've got to look at the bigger picture sometimes. But as a fan, you're not really interested in the bigger picture when we've been so kind of starved of success, kind of starved of a real title kind of battle, and we're all desperate to win the league. So, and I think Raskin would play a big part in that. But an interesting one. It'd be interesting to see what happens when moving forward. For a Hill, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Genuinely appreciate it. I think it used to be, so whether you're rejoining after the troubles we had with the pesky hackers, then I very much appreciate that. For coming back, I do appreciate it. We'll move on to the second signing. It was 2 signings in one day. Rangers spoiled us. We were hoping it was going to be like that until we did this podcast, but not quite. But I think there's one not too far away. But Emanuel Fernandez on a 4-year deal from Petersburg, again on an undisclosed fee. 23-year-old joins the club on a permanent basis, becoming the latest addition to Russell Martin's squad this summer. Again, he's a centre half. On joining, he said, "I'm honoured. It's a huge club with a great fan base, and I think I can kickstart my career and have a good journey here. I was shocked when I heard about Rangers because it's such a big club, but it was a place I wanted to be. I haven't played at this level. There will be a lot of life changes for me, but it's something I want to be part of, and I can't wait to get started." Russell Martin said, "Emanuel is a young defender with a huge amount of potential, and I'm excited to welcome him to the club. He has a strong physical presence, is a commanding defender, and I believe in his environment. In this environment, we can help him develop and provide him with the opportunities to take the game to his next level. I'm looking forward to welcoming him to the group and getting to work." Ali, what I will say is this has been a mixed reaction, I would say, in terms of the kind of news breaking that Rangers had signed him. A lot of Peterborough fans kind of laughed their head off because Sky initially reported it was for $3.5 million, but they have deleted that tweet, so we don't actually know the value. But they seem a bit baffled at the fact that Rangers have signed him. You've seen a few saying, no, there's definitely potential in him. I don't think he's a development player, but he's definitely a player that is coming here to be developed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and Big Dodge, I'm sure he was a member definitely before, but he is a new member. Dodge, he must have, because of the shenanigans we had before.
Appreciate that.
Fernandez, he's had very mixed reports from the Peterborough fans, as you say. A lot of them are absolutely delighted to get rid of him. It's a difficult one because I've not watched Peterborough in it last year. I can't really say. Martin May, new member as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Martin.
It is a difficult one because they obviously see him week in, week out. He played the best part, I think, 30 games or something last year for Peterborough. I think they said he's quite good with the ball at his feet. He's 6'4", dominant. He's not too clever at the back at times, so he'd probably fit in quite well with the defence we've got at the moment.
Him and Proper would make a great partnership, wouldn't
they? Sign him for that. I think he's a guy that likes to come out with the ball at his feet from the back and all that. But I agree with you. I think he's been signed as a development type player. Rangers have obviously spent reasonable money on him. The deal may go up to that fee that's been reported in terms of add-ons, etc. But they've spent money on him. I think Rangers look at the profile of that player and probably think could we develop him? No disrespect to being at Peterborough, but being at Rangers is a completely different ball level here. Could they potentially develop this guy to go to the next level? You never know. It might fail. These things happens with footballers when you bring them in. They don't always work, but they've obviously looked at him and thought there's something to work with. So I don't see him being a first choice centre half for Rangers next season, especially with the guys we've been linked with. But I could see him being a backup, and he'll probably play. He'll play a reasonable amount of games next season, cup games that we should be winning Ibrox, etc. But the profile of him, I like. I said last season, and for years with Rangers, we are physically weak as a football team all the way through the team. I was looking for, especially at the back line, dominant centre halves, big physical guys, quick. If they could play with the ball at their feet, ideal. But just first and foremost, do your job, win the balls. And this guy, along with another guy you'll probably come on to, who we've been linked with, tick the boxes for that. So I'm happy to see that Russell Martin is identifying things in this Rangers team that we all know as Rangers fans over the past 18 months, 2 years, that we should be identifying, and he's doing it. So yeah, I'm not going to write the guy off because Peterborough fans say he's no use. I'll wait till I see him. I mean, I'll give him 20 minutes.
10 minutes. 20? God, you've been generous. You can have 20.
No, but you look at Clinton Inciala, they took a gamble on that boy for AC Milan. They haven't really paid money for him, but they've seen potential in him. I think they've seen this for this boy, but they have paid money for him. So it'll be interesting to see him. But good luck to the boy. I'm not writing him off in the back of some Peterborough fans giving him grief.
Yeah, I can get that. Buffalo Alberts, thank you so much for becoming a member as well. Really much appreciate that. Also, we're over 1,600 people are watching this stream right now, which I think's a first for this podcast. If it is, please subscribe, stick around. I don't know what's happened.
I was about to say that, Cardi. I was going to text you and go, is that right? Well, I'm looking up the top corner.
Where are we? Must be posted somewhere else. But if it's your first time around here,
we're very close to a figure at the moment, Cardi.
No, Alistair. No, let's not ruin things, shall we? There'll be somebody watching.
No, I know.
But generally, if you're sticking around, please subscribe to the channel, get involved in the live chat. That's what it's all about. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I was just literally clocked at the corner of my eye, and I was like, that says we're over 1,500. And I was like, oh, we're over 1,600 now. I was like, well, I don't know what's happening. So thank you. Honestly, generally appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying it. Ross, he's a monster of a fella. I mean, he is gigantic. I mean, absolutely massive. You've seen the pictures today that were released next to Aaron's and Rothwell. He's like literally head and shoulders above them. He's Russell Martin certainly looking like he's building a bit of physicality in this back line, which is very welcomed.
Very welcome. That picture was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, I did have a wee chuckle at that. I feel bad for the lads, but no, that's
like, that picture of Shaquille O'Neal when he was walking about with his missus, and like that's what all I could think in my head. I was like, look at the size difference. Yeah,
I know. It's one in, one out. One Fernandez in the door and another one out. It does seem, again, that was a bit of a baffling signing, but very, very happy to see a strong centre half in the door. Is this the Robin Propper, the Ben Davies replacement? Please let it be. That's all I'll say. We need it to be. I'll say the one phrase. He speaks well. Leave your dislikes if you like. He speaks well. I know everybody says it, but he does come across quite confident. And you know, I'm very much here for it. He's interestingly, one of the last games that he played was 90 minutes against Ben Davies and Kieran Dowell, in which they won 2-0 against Birmingham. I found that quite amusing. But he'll have his mixed reviews. He will, because he's 23 at the end of the day. You know, he's far from the finished article. If we're seriously expecting, you know, like a Ruben Diaz to come in the door, well, to be fair, I'm probably expecting a Ruben Diaz to come in the door. But you know what I mean? Like, but we're not going to have these finished articles. So. A 4-year deal as well. It's good business. It's very, very good business. I would love it to not be that, you know, the end of Inciala, if that makes sense. I don't want that to become a wee harsh. I really like Inciala, so I do hope that he doesn't completely get shadowed out with Fernandez coming in. But it gives us options. Another thing as well is that, see, when it gets to November, December, I've said it before, we'll need players who can play, every 3 games in 7 days. These young players will hopefully be able to do so. So brilliant bit of business for me. And yes, keep the Fernandezes coming. If there's a Bruno Fernandez, if there's just another Fernandez wanting to come in the door, then that'll be much, much welcomed.
Yeah, look, as I say, I think we'll move on and speak about the one that we are closely linked with. It seems like it's very close to happening anyway, and it's again another centre half, but it's understood that Rangers are currently leading the charge for, I'm going to say, is it Giga? Is that how you say his name?
Delighted you've said it, Carney.
Yeah, Giga? Somebody in the comments will slaughter me for it, but I'm going with Giga.
Somebody said wait till Tom Miller, Rangers TV, gets a hold of that.
Oh, God, I'll not have, honestly. It's not going to be still Tom Miller next year. Surely, like, he's had his retirement party now. Honestly, it must be time for Scotia to get a try at that job. But yeah, as I say, the latest rumour that he'll be allowed to leave Wolves on loan this summer. The 22-year-old moved to Wolves in a deal worth up to about 10 million from Red Star Belgrade during the January window. He again is 6'4", made only a handful of appearances in the Premier League, but he's under contract until 2030. Is viewed as a figure who can have a positive impact at Wolves in the future. As you say, Ali, Rangers clearly expecting the departure of a few defenders. You'd like to think Proper, Davies are the top of that list, mate. They were the two that you'd be looking to move out for these two coming in. It does, by all rumours and all accounts, this Giga is, I don't think you need to say Gigi, it's just Giga. But I think it looks close. It looks like we're going to get him on loan. I think, again, that's a wee bit of a Russell Martin effect as well in terms of relationships and the contacts and whatever else that he may have. But you can see that we spoke about needing the spine, mate. And Aaron's apart really from that, but everybody so far has been the spine of the team. That's where we've asked for it to happen. We are really solidifying the back line. We're now probably too many defenders if this deal does go through. Again, you could probably argue too many midfielders as well, too many central midfielders as well, but he is building the spine of the team, and it's what we all ask for. Physicality, mate, as well. It's just a massive, massive tick point for me.
Yeah, he's obviously been listening to us in the podcast, Russell Martin.
Why would he not?
Because,
maybe he's one of these 2,000 odd people that are watching us now. Evening, Russell, how are you? Hope you're keeping well.
Evening, Lucy, as well.
Yes, Lucy. Yes, good evening, Lucy.
But yeah, no, it's Everton is signing so far, and we're not yet to see these guys yet, but just the profile of them to keep growing about. This guy here, yeah, I'm quite excited about this guy. This is a dominant centre half coming in. Yeah. He's played for Red Star Belgrade out there, which is quite hostile.
No, it's really calm out there. It's honestly, it's really playing Sunday football down the park, mate. It's really calm.
And obviously, he's came to Wolves. Hasn't quite worked. But Wolves were in a bit of a relegation fight last season in the Premier League. Maybe it wasn't a great time to come there. They're probably looking at it going, it was 10 million euros, I think they paid for him. Do we send him out and loan to try and see if we can kickstart him a wee bit? We're probably the perfect club to send him up to. Again, I've been crying out for dominant centre halves that we've been talking about, because it's the centre halves we've got are too weak. Robin Proper, he's got to go. He will go. John Souttar, I've said it for ages. I'm not bashing Souttar. I don't think he's good enough for week in, week out at Rangers. I think he's a very good
back
squad
in training
player
as well, though, which is good.
And he was back in training today, I've seen. So I think Souttar's a very good option for Rangers, but I don't think he's a starter. We're still linked with Cody as well, for Leicester, who you would think would come into play, experienced player, which leaves in Ciala, who I said last season, Carney, that I would look to put him out on loan this season. I would look to put him out on loan to a team in Scotland in the Premier League. I'd look to put. I know you always laugh at me because I always say I use Hearts as the example all the time.
Yeah, send it with Hearts. All everybody should go on loan from Rangers should go to Hearts in Ali's eyes. Yeah,
but I would to get him. Not that he's had quite a few games in Scotland, but to play a season in it, that's what I would do, because the amount of centre halves we bring in, he's going to go down the pecking order. I don't know what type of formation we're going to play next season in terms of the back line, but I can see him going down the pecking order potentially. But no, this guy for Wolves ticks the boxes for me. 6'4", just going to win balls. That's what I'm looking for. If he's not great with the ball at his feet, just give the ball to midfielders and let them do that. But yes, so far so good. I did say, you asked me the question, Carney, what part of the team do you want? And I said the spine of the team. 2 centre halves right way through the middle. That's what he's doing. And I think potentially in the next one, there's a guy potentially coming in, but the striker will be another one, which will come soon, I think, especially with Egeman and Dessers not seen it training. So far, so good for me, Carney.
Yeah, I think we're not even at the... I mean, I know we can get excited about defenders. Yeah, I do get that, but we're not even at the point where we're looking to be linked with the kind of attacking players. I know, was it David Brooke? That was one that was mentioned.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, that's one that was mentioned, which I would be very keen on. I know a bit about him, but I know we've been linked against Turgeman as well. We've been linked with him, but we're not at the point yet where it looks like we're ready to pull a trigger on a forward or a striker player or a winger or whoever it may be. And maybe that's not by accident. Maybe it's the way we're choosing to do business because Russell Martin doesn't want to. For example, if he goes and signs 2 wingers and a striker, it's pretty sure he's going to be playing a front 3. So maybe he doesn't want to give too much away. It could be something to do with that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, Ross, this would be. Everybody that's into their stats with Gida is quite excited about the potential of Rangers getting him in on loan. I've got nothing against with what Russell Martin is doing. We have leaked far too many goals as a football team. We were conceding 2 goals a game last season. That's literally how it was going. So starting at the back and working the way forward, I'm fine with that. But this one looks like it would be a very good signing for Rangers.
He's done his homework. He's definitely done his homework. There was genuinely painfully to watch last season, painfully predictable, because you know that as soon as you chuck a ball in the box, you know exactly what's going to happen. So as Ali says, strong centre halves, inject it. I'm so here for it. It does leave the question though. You make a good point, Jet. It's like what formation we're going to play. I'm genuinely still a bit baffled. I have a bit no idea. I know that if Conor Cody does come in, I'd imagine would sit in the middle of a back 3. And I know that kind of the one thing it's going about is that he'd need 2 defenders beside him with a bit of pace, obviously to kind of help him out a bit. Would Fernandez and Gia be those 2 to kind of help him out? I'm not sure. It could be. It definitely could be. But it does leave a lot of exciting headaches, I guess, for us fans in terms of what are we going to do. And that's not even including the fact that we've got, a very, very promising fullback in Aaron's there. We should be feeling like this. I'm glad that we're now on the 4th of July and now we're starting to get a bit of a buzz before the first friendly back. So if he comes in, mate, brilliant. It's another one of these situations where if they come in, do well for a season, I don't mind it as a loan. Just as long as I don't get too torn. We've seen it before.
Don't fall in love with him. Don't fall in love with him.
I know. So bring him in. The more the merrier. And yes, unfortunately, it's another case of people can't have any more photos beside Aaron's and Rothwell because they're going to be look like absolute midgets beside them. But I don't mind that. If it means we stop conceding corners in, then I'm fine with that.
I seen when somebody put it on Twitter. Was it Fernandez sitting with Raskin and Yilmaz, and it was the scene from Still Game where it was Big Innes. Was down. They sat down.
Don't give him Maduri. Whatever you do,
don't give him Maduri. I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, but look, we are building physicality. We are linked with physical players, and it's very welcomed. It really is. We've been far too soft for far too long, and I see even with leaders as well at the middle of the pitch, it's exciting to see. Another player that's been quite strongly linked with Rangers is Thilo Asgard, reported by Joshua Barry on the Rangers Review. This is where I took this from. He said Rangers are confident of landing the signing and adding him to the squad. He's a 23-year-old midfielder who can play in multiple positions. He moved to Luton Town from Wigan in January, but will leave the London club following their relegation from the Championship to League One. The player who came through at Liverpool and Wigan's academy scored 14 goals in all competitions last season and made his full debut for Norway earlier this season, scoring against Moldova. Ali, a very interesting signing this for me. He looks a bit like a baller to me.
Don't watch YouTube. Honestly,
I know, I try not to, but it's hard not to. It is hard not to.
Andrew Muir.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Andrew. That's much appreciated. I done the same and had a look at them on YouTube because I'll be honest, I have heard of quite a lot of Championship players because I do watch some of the Championship games on a Saturday when they're on. I hadn't heard of him, to be honest. So I went and had a wee look at him. From the clips, he reminds me of a Todd Cantwell type, just the way I was watching him. He reminded me of the way he plays.
A bit of swagger.
Goals. That, which I think you need to be at Rangers. He's obviously been called up to his national team as well, to Norway. He got a cap, so they obviously see something in him too, and they're a decent team as well. But yeah, he's went to Luton. Obviously, they've got relegated. Yeah, he looks a decent player. Again, we keep using the word bloody profile, if you want to say that's the buzzword at the moment. He fits it again. This guy, 23, good age. Could we bring him in, develop him again, be an asset for Rangers? Reportedly, Rangers are going to spend, I don't know, 3 million plus on this boy potentially. But yeah, I like the look of him. He looks a bit of a tin opener for me, and we've lacked guys like this, guys who you can get a ball to and are creative. We don't have it, and he looks the type of guy that could do that for us. So yeah, it looks quite an exciting signing that, and obviously as a fan, we know we've talked about defenders here, which aren't that glamorous, but the middle at the front as a fan is the one you want to see. Obviously, we've not even got to the wingers yet, the left and the right, or the striker yet for Rangers.
What are you talking about? Matondo plays for us, mate. We don't need a winger. Don't need a winger.
Of course it is, aye. But no, he looks good. But then you're looking at the midfield now, going, right, we've got all these guys. Where do they all fit in potentially? So that's the problem for Russell Martin. But if we get this guy, yeah, he ticks the boxes. Again, I've not seen him, so I'd need to wait till I see him. But from what I've seen on YouTube and fans of the teams he played for, he looks a good player.
Ross, had you heard of him? Had you did them before Rangers were linked with him? Have you went and did the obligatory YouTube check and see what he's all about?
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, I did do the YouTube search this morning. I'm not sure if he's had a good FIFA card yet. That's usually your
benchmark. Yeah,
indeed. So I've not checked that yet. But it looks exciting. He does look a bit of a baller. I think it's the haircut. I think it is definitely there's something in the haircut. But yeah, for me, I'd love to see something like that come in. Just somebody a bit of a tin up, a wee bit exciting. Ali's absolutely spot on. I was literally in the car this morning and I was thinking Todd Cantwell. It's almost very, very similar. And I don't when you even think of who we've got rid of, as much as they weren't what we all hoped they would be, we have lost a Yanis Hadji, we have lost a Tom Lawrence. We do kind of need that. If we do play number 10, we are going to need it filled. I don't see Barami, unfortunately, yet doing it for us. So I think definitely bringing somebody in there, just in case that is the route we go down. Obviously, I was speaking about what that midfield's going to look like. If we do want that kind of tin up there, then he looks like our guy. So yeah, very, very exciting for me, mate. It would be another nationality into the Rangers team. I can't remember like in most recent times. Last time I had a Norwegian in. So yeah, it's very exciting for me. And yes, another Norwegian, Erling Haaland would be nice as well. 49ers get a cough up.
Surely they can afford that. I wouldn't imagine they're shy of money. Surely not. Yes. No. I know. Just you mentioned Barami, mate, and I literally got a chill down my spine when I was like, oh, no. Honestly,
you'll see him on Sunday, can't you?
Honestly, there's a picture of him today smiling in the training pictures, and I was like, oh, I forgot you were still here. I was like, oh no, like I've naturally literally no time for him at all. He's one that I don't think I'm wrong on. I'm wrong most of the time on players. Him, absolutely not. Justin Muir, thank you so much for that. Ali, you want to put it up for me and you can do your wee bit.
Thanks so much, Justin. God bless America. And enjoy tonight. I bet there's some cracking celebrations out there. I hope you behave yourself out there.
Behave yourself, yeah. I'm sure you'll have a great time. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Yeah, not. Well, not behave. I mean, great time probably, yes. Behave probably not, no. I say in terms of outgoings, Igaman and Dessers, as Ali mentioned earlier, we're not at training, which would suggest they're pretty close to the exit door. I think we all know that. Igaman looks like he's going to Lille. Dessers looks like he's going to AK Athens as well. So it looks like they two are on their way, which they say will ramp up the transfer hype as well. And because we're getting to sign, it's always good when you go to sign strikers, isn't it? That's kind of what you live for. It's always exciting when you sign strikers. I got excited at selling Danilo, though, and how wrong I was. If you look at him in the training videos, he looks like he's never ran that distance in his entire life. He looks constantly burst, which isn't a great sign. Maybe it will be. Maybe it'll be the making of him. But I'll hold my reservations with that one. But we still have Yilmaz, Davies, Dow, Barami, Matondo, McCausland. They're all still here. I mean, they're all still part of the squad. They're all, the majority of them, on pretty decent wages. Ali, you've got to think, surely it's just a matter of when for them. It looks like we're getting our business done in incomings, yes, but there must be work happening in order to offload some of the players that are clearly not going to be involved going forward.
Oh, definitely. Mr. Haymarch's son's giving him a bit of grief in the comments there as well, saying that Haymarch said...
young Toby, aye.
They said Lammers was a tin opener. He did look, to be fair, a tin opener at the start and then just careered off a cliff. But it's kind of funny seeing it Haymarch.
You see, Ryan's going to pop in the comments any minute, giving him a hard time. Any minute now, you're going to see Blue Ryu.
Yeah. But no, we need to start getting rid of these players, which we've said is easier said than done. Ben Davies, I think we'll get rid of him. There's a lot of players there I think we might struggle with. Cifuentes is one. Will we see Cifuentes?
Oh, I forgot about him and all.
I know. And there's been links with certain players. Matondo's been kind of linked with teams, etc. But I don't think the Rangers will be hard to deal with in a lot of these players. They just want to get them off the books. A lot of these guys are on decent wages at Rangers. Matondo's on a decent wage. Davies is on a decent wage.
Dowell's on a decent wage, mate.
Dowell will be on a decent wage.
Barami will be on a decent wage.
Barami. And you talk about strikers. Danilo's one I would punt, but nobody will come in for Danilo. We'll be stuck with Danilo. No. I did laugh when I watched the training video and they said to Danilo, "Don't worry, Danny, but you're not running today." In terms of the international guys that are back there running. So I'm delighted he's getting running to the ground because he deserves it. And I know I slagged Danilo. I really do hope he comes back and shows me this season. I would love him to do it. I really would. But
we say it all the time, mate, that I love when we're wrong about players. Like, I generally love it because it usually means they're successful. And if they're successful, my team's likely to be successful. So I want to be wrong, like 100% do. What I don't get the bit around Danilo is because he's not played for us a wee while, all of a sudden he became this world beater. And people forget when he first started for Rangers, he was missing sitters as bad as Dessers misses as well. People forget that. It's always that thing when people are out for a certain amount of time, they get better when they're not playing. And for me, you've got to remember what he was previously. He's had an opportunity. Barry Ferguson pretty much said his attitude stinks. For me, the Rangers try and cut the losses with that and move on.
Yeah. No, Danilo's not for me, and folk know that. But no, Rangers will be trying to get these guys out the door. In the ideal scenario is Rangers will like to get these guys out the door first and then bring the new players in. What we've got against us is we're playing Panathinaikos in 2.5 weeks' time, whatever it is, at Ibrox. So we need to bring players in right now that are going to be first-team starters. So we have to do it if we want to try and progress in the Champions League qualifier. So that's why we're doing it. We'll bring these players in and we'll try and offload these guys if we can. We're getting up to the top line now. You're on about Iggyman and Dessers that aren't going to be there. We'll have to bring a striker in. I did see that Shankland is now re-signed for Hearts.
Hallelujah!
We can finally stick that to bed. A bizarre one as well because I honestly thought he would go somewhere else.
I think they've offered him pretty good money.
I think he'll be their high. Well, they will be their highest player.
He will be the highest paid,
but I still thought he would go somewhere else and get even more money. So it was interesting to see him go back there. But he was never married, Shankland. But these guys, we need to get them out the door. But there's some I think we'll get rid of easy enough. But there's others that I think may linger. And it's whether, as I've said, can Russell Martin get a tune out of some of them? Some of these guys we've written off as fans, can he get a tune out of them? The obvious one is Cortez, who we've spent the best part of £4 million on. have to get something out of this guy this season, because if we don't, what are we going to do with him? So it'll be interesting, but I'm sure Rangers will be working in the background to get rid of these guys.
Yeah, Ross, we are. I do sometimes get a shudder when I think about the likes of Matondo and Dowell and Davies maybe appearing even in these pre-season friendlies. I'm like, no, Rangers need to move on from that. I think we all know once players have a certain opinion around them, in terms of Rangers fans, they might have a decent game, a good game, but as soon as it follows up with a shocking game, or maybe drops to a 5, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, then he's written off straight away again. It's so hard for players to recover, but there's so much deadwood now in the team that Rangers really need to get a move on as well in terms of getting these players out.
They do, because it also adds up the wage bill that's potentially unnecessary. If you can bring in new players for the amount of money that, for example, I don't know if it's concrete, but if the amount, for example, Matondo's on, that could go to another cause. So I do hope that we can use definitely with Ben Davies, for example, use that loan, and let's just depart where we can. Let's just say that if there's an offer there, let's depart where we can. Cifuentes is it's a weird one. It's pretty clear he doesn't like the chilly weather. I think that was probably the one way of putting it. So that's fair enough. I'm fine with that. That's all good. But it's just, as you say, mate, get them cleared out where we can, and get some new players in, and almost don't regret having them. Don't, in the nicest way possible, don't make any regrets having them here. Let's just refresh if we can and keep doing what we're doing. But again, as we're saying, the almost professionalism of the business we're doing, it's quite quiet. I hope that these things are kind of going on in the background. We might not hear these things, which, I love if that's the case, because if that, it means I can sleep at night, because I think, there might be something going on. But so I wouldn't get too concerned about it just now, but definitely in a few weeks' time, if they're still at the club, then it's maybe have the conversation again. But the fact is, the Shankland rumour's done will save us some argument, mate. I like that.
Honestly, I'm so happy, mate. Honestly, I am. I'm going on about Shankland all the time, and I'm like, he's not. In my opinion, he wasn't the silver bullet. He wasn't the guy that was going to sort it all. Peter is saying, like, watch him score against us and them, but he doesn't. He just doesn't. He doesn't do it even nearly enough. I don't think he's as good as what he's kind of made out to be. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with the whole Shankland thing. So I'm glad. I'm just so glad that it's finally came to an end. But in terms of the players that are still there that we all believe is dead, but you just don't want it to stifle any potential signings that we can make in terms of restrictions on the wage bill, in terms of restriction of having too many players in one position. I don't want that. I want Rangers to pretty much wipe this slate clean. And yes, we're bringing new players in, which I fully welcome, but they will reach a point where the owners will go, right, you can't bring anybody else in because you need to get rid of these guys. So the sooner, the better, Mr. Rangers. That would be great. That'll do us on transfer chat and pretty much Rangers stuff on the pitch anyway. And we'll finish up with, I'm going to be very negative, everybody, for about the next couple of minutes. I'm just making you all aware. I'm going to put this picture up now about the new travel raids released by Rangers and Umbro. I have honestly got zero words about this. Honestly, I have got no idea even where to start. I will start with the white t-shirt in the middle. Generally looks like it's on Temu. It looks like somebody bought it for Turkey and brought it back. It's an absolute shocker. The design is terrible, and don't even get me started on the hoodie. The fact that when the hood's down, you can't even see it's Rangers written at the top of the shirt. This is not retro. This is horrific in every way possible. And you all know, people that have tuned in and watched this podcast for a long time will know I'm quite open to things being a little bit different and trying. I quite like most of the third strips and all that they bring out. I quite like it a little bit different. This, however, is a joke. It is awful in every sense of the word. It is absolutely terrible. Ali, I'm shocked that Castor have allowed this to happen. I really am. They know what works. They've had their feet in the door enough now to know what works. They know the kind of stuff that people will go out and buy. It's the first time in a long time that there's been stuff brought out that I've went, no to all of it. Even just a crew neck t-shirts, mate, with just the Rangers, just a massive Rangers badge and a massive Umbro badge underneath it. What were they thinking? And I thought the Celtic top was bad, by the way, but that middle t-shirt you can see on your screens right now, that white one, that beats that hands down. That is honestly atrocious.
I think you're quite negative, Carney. I think they're all quite nice tops. Then
you're a liar. I know you're a liar. You are a liar.
Yeah, no, we've laughed as Rangers fans before because we've said all these kit manufacturers need to do is put a Rangers badge on it and Rangers fans will buy it, but not quite literally as what they've done here. It doesn't look like there's been much thought put into it in terms of Umbro and Rangers. It's bizarre because Castore, in terms of their travel gear, I think their travel gear has been really good the last few years.
Even that,
like,
the
really
grey one
smart.
that they brought, the grey one they brought out towards the end of last season, they didn't even release it, and everybody was like, "Mate, that's minted." Everybody wanted it. I wanted it.
Yeah,
this. I don't even honestly. But, I mean, it's not even. I was going to say it reminds me of what my dad used to wear in the 90s. It's worse than that. I remember my dad having this big Umbro jumper and this big Umbro pair of khaki bottoms. It used to call it. He called it his house gear all the time, or his comfy gear. He used to call it his comfy gear. But I mean, this is poor. This is really poor.
Yeah, it's not great. Like I say, I did like Castore's travel stuff, and I thought it was good. I thought the designs were good as well. I did look at that and go, is it a kind of retro look they're going for? But it's not for me. I'm going down to the Rangers store tomorrow morning because I'm finally going to buy the home top that I've been meaning to do for ages. So I'm going down tomorrow morning to get that, and I'll have a look at them. But from what I've seen today, no, I wasn't impressed because I do like some of their travel gear, the training tops, etc. There's some nice training tops out, I'll have to say that. But in terms of those ones you put up there, Carney, no. I do like the Castore hoodies from the past few years. They've been quite nice, I thought. But no, not for me. But I'm sure there'll be collectors out there. I know Mr. Edgar for Heart and Hand likes to collect all these type of things from all through the years with Rangers. So I'm sure he'll buy one, but it's not for me. But it looks like a kind of retro feel they're going for, but it's not for me.
Ross, it's awful. It is absolutely awful.
That the one if you get it up the screen, mate, if possible, please. That one at the top left.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds, mate.
Bring that on, mate. That's the first time I've seen it. I've seen Winston Ingram. Well, that honestly, that's that's all I can picture. That's all I can picture, mate. Thank you for getting that up. That's I have no words, very little words. I can't get like. It was the mother who made a good point. I don't know if they're going for like a American font in the back. I don't know what they're doing. It gives me like Rocky vibes. You know what I mean? It's just I'm like yourself, mate. I do like an out there kit. You know, like for example, last season's third kit, belter. Absolutely love it. Just something a wee bit out there. The travel range, I don't mind. You know, even like some of the Ibrox inspired ranges last season, they were minted. Absolutely no for me. It's honestly no words at all. I would be delighted to see some photos from yourself repping that attire to see what it's like in person. It's honestly, I'll get down to the store at some point to see it, but Twitter's been a painfully fun place today. That's all I can say. And yes, Umbro, it's a yes in the kits, but the travel gear, no, thank you.
I like the kits. I do. I bought the home top now as well. I do like it. Tried it on. It felt great. The material's good. I was like, I like it, and I prefer it to last year's home top. Only last year's home top, but I liked it. Bought it. Let's say away top. I probably will get in the third kit. I do really like. I've not been to see it yet, but I'll need to go and I'll go see it in person. But yeah, this honestly, and Umbro as well is not exactly the most fashionable of brands, is it? Let's be honest. And to go and do this, I'm just like, honestly, whoever decided this, it's a shocker of a move. They were quoted. Kavanagh was quoted about selling 400,000 kits, etc. You're not selling 400,000 of any of that stuff. That's for absolute sure. If people buy that, you're just at it. You really are just at it. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I said the polo shirt, especially. I was like, that's an absolute absolute shocker, man. Like, it's just like 10-year-old gear found somewhere in it and just think, let's fling a massive Umbro badge on it and a massive Rangers badge on it. It's not good. If it's an attempt at retro, it's pathetic. It really is. I really don't like it. And the prices of it are scandalous for Umbro gear. It really is scandalous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yes, not a fan of that one. That will do us for tonight. I think everybody in the chat same. You can see everybody in the chat exactly the same. Thank you, everybody. So many people have tuned in tonight as well. It clocked over 3,000 people watching us live, which is amazing. Please do like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. It'd be great to see you back around here again. I hope you enjoyed the show. For people that are tuning in for the first time, I genuinely hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for new members, everybody tonight. I think Div, I forgot to mention you. Div Hunter as well. Thank you so much for becoming a member. All the subscribers, everybody, all the donators, absolutely brilliant. It's been some show tonight. Also, we've got a second channel now as well, called Club Off the Pitch, and you'll see more of what that's about on Sunday as we do bits from before the game, during the game. You'll see just a bit of kind of unedited us, really, as we are going to the game on Sunday. So please tune in for that. I'm sure you'll see Mr. Scott Gemmell on there also, but obviously for the club reaction, it will be here on this channel. So yeah, plenty to come for. Curry shouting at me, live pod, Scott. Yes. The hacker thing kind of threw things into a bit of a spin, Curry, so I've had to readjust things. We will still look at doing another one. Trust me, we will still look at doing another one, but nothing is set in concrete yet. I'm kind of back to the drawing board a little bit on it. So, yeah, the way the whole hacking thing went, mate, came at the worst possible time. So that kind of took my priority work and getting that back. I hope you understand that, but we will get back to it. I do promise that. And, yeah, that'll do us for tonight. Ali, thank you very much.
No problem. Look forward to finally getting back to Ibrox after it seems like months and months and months.
This is going to live with me forever, chasing this guy away because we were doing a podcast because I didn't tell him where the subway was. This is going to live with me forever. It really is.
Yeah, down the dreaded alleyway at the Vice. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to Ibrox on Sunday and to do our first post-match reaction of the Russell Martin era as well. So it'll be... I'll be interested to see who's on the park in terms of players that we don't rate, etc. Because I think we'll see some of them and potentially some of the new players as well. So, no, I look forward to it and bringing a match reaction on Sunday with Mr. Gemmell as well.
Yeah, we'll get back to it for sure. And Ross, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Rumour has it that guy is Subway's guy who hacked us. So we'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out. We found him. The culprit has been found. But no, thank you as always. Yes, that was good. And yes, let's be having you 3 points on Sunday. That's all we can ask for, 3 points. So yes, enjoy everybody whenever it comes.
If you are watching this podcast, or you ever do watch a podcast, you ever hear word of this, please come into the Viceroy and I'll buy you a pint. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm sorry, but it's just a wee bit off-putting. But come into the pub, I'll buy you a pint. We can chat it out and whatever, and you can call me whatever you need to call me, and hopefully put that to bed. But yeah, so as I say, make sure you check out our other channel as well. The link for the podcast is in the description for this. For the other channels in the description for this podcast. But of course, we will be back on this channel as well with a club reaction with hopefully a positive result and a Matondo hat-trick on Sunday. That would be rather enjoyable. Thank you everybody again for tuning in tonight. All the donations, all the new members, really do appreciate it. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. That would be absolutely magic. We're on the charts to 8,000 subscribers this year, which is absolutely crazy. Hopefully we can get there before the end of the season with your help. And yes, enjoy your weekend. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers everybody.